honestly, how can I make myself look even grumpier and more disappointed? I look like shit. Oh my god. Whoa, I should not have shaved. I mean, I needed to shave. You gotta shave every now and again so it comes back nice and full and better than before. Scream Fortress 14. A lot happened in this update, so much so that I needed to write a script in order to keep my thoughts in order, so if you see my eyes darting up and down and left and right, it's because I'm trying to make sure that I don't lose my place, and so I keep my thoughts on track, and so I don't forget anything that I believe needs to be said about this update and just the overall quality and state of the game that I'm sure most of us are painfully aware of. So the update is, I mean, God, it's just overall painfully mediocre. It's at Scream Fortress, same routine, different year, man. It's just another cash grab update from Valve as they dangle another set of shiny keys in our faces as bots slowly seep back into casual. Maybe we didn't have enough TF2bers circle jerking each other off on Twitter hard enough. Maybe I didn't go to my local Denny's and scream that I love TF2 loud enough so that Sputnik could pick it up. I don't know what else we could have done. Maybe another hashtag, maybe a few more YouTube videos, maybe some epic collaborations between amazing tubers. Whoa, look at us, we're saving the game. Ha! Laughable. Honestly, I don't know what I expected from Valve at this point, really. It's honestly a fool's errand to expect anything beyond the bare minimum at this point, if even that much. Valve still refuses to properly launch a major content update, you know, post-Jungle Inferno, without just dropping the ball miserably hard. They're more than capable of pushing out a functioning update. Valve isn't stupid, they're not incompetent, they just don't bother. Why bother when the game still earns them a fuckload of money by just flipping the switch on, right? Even the item servers don't seem to be able to handle Valve's bullshit right now. You wonder why your inventory hasn't been loading properly since the summer update, and why trades take an eternity, and why you can't even use the community market right now without it crapping out? Rumor has it, aside from Valve doing the abysmal mobile update, what the hell were they doing with that? Rumor has it that they've crammed so many items into TF2 that the item servers just can't handle it anymore. There's just too much crap in there, too many skins, too many unusual effects, just too much stuff to where the code can't even handle it anymore. The code propping up the item servers just can't take it. It's buckling at the seams. It's falling apart, man. Just to put it into perspective for you, 60% of TF2's community market listings are war paints. 60%. Not skins in general, just war paints. That's how much crap they've put in the game. Over 4,000 pages of items on the community fucking market, compared to CSGO's, what, 1,800? And people think CSGO has a lot of items. No, TF2 has way more. Ah, God. And only TF2 is really suffering from this problem. Like, when they started pushing the mobile update, then other games started having community market and inventory loading issues. But for the past couple of months, I'm sure you've all noticed, your inventory just hasn't been properly functioning, and it's only been a problem with TF2. Valve, like, can't even keep the money makers working properly, man. It's honestly pathetic coming from Valve, man. Oh my god. And obviously, their priorities with TF2, however few still remain, still clearly lie in profits over performance. How much more crap can they cram into the game for a quick buck before people stop giving a shit, or until everything just breaks, right? It's gonna be very interesting to see which one happens first. Valve very clearly does not give a shit about TF2 anymore. They just sated us by tossing a tweet out there and putting, what, one extra pair of hands on a game that only had one pair of hands working on it to begin with, in order just to get us to shut up. Here, have some bug fixes that were posted on a public GitHub that they just took from the GitHub and directly implemented into the game. It's not Valve doing the work, it's everyone telling Valve what to do. But listen, you really got to give it to the guys, 2-3 people that have been charged with just maintaining the game, right? I'm serious about this. They're doing the best they can, but it's a 20-man job being propped up by 2 sets of hands, man. God, and likely this small group of people, aside from like Eric Smith, don't even know what the community wants or expects, right? They're just putting in bug fixes that are being put on a public GitHub. It's like, They don't know what the community expects. They don't know what the community wants. They don't even know what the norm is for, like, decent quality control, just for, like, item selection or just things they put in the game. It's sad that Valve still refuses to allocate even a couple extra sets of hands to work on a major mainstream mainstay title that earns them millions of dollars a year. I mean, oh well, I guess brain interfaces and handheld Linux machines are more important. Let's get another hashtag going. Just get another hashtag will do it. Another Twitter rant. They'll fucking get it done, right? I'll get Valve off their lazy asses to do something. No! They ain't gonna do shit. Fucking sucks. TF2 is way over the hill at this point. But hey, you know what? I'm along for the ride until we crash and burn on the other side. So, I'm in it, man. At least with this Scream Fortress, we got a couple of decent skins, we got a couple of decent hats, we got a couple of decent maps. At least I can look at these things and say, hey, this is fine, while the rest of the game burns down around me. So let's ogle at those dangling keys for a few minutes, shall we? And also, please, for the love of God, do not harass any creators that appear in this video. Only their items are being shown, none of them being mentioned by name, so if you go out of your way to bother these people, you're a piece of shit. Kindly get bent, that should go without saying. Fuck you if you do that. I'm gonna start with the war paints. This war paint case is pretty bad. It's not the worst we've received by far. I honestly don't think we can get any lower than winter 2020. Knock on wood, but I'll reserve comparisons between the two until the end. Let's just get through the war paints first. Okay, first up is creamed corn, whatever the name, doesn't fucking matter. Despite the simplicity and the relative ease of production with this war paint, I actually really like this one. I'm totally not biased because orange is my favorite color, no sir. This war paint's color palette, God forbid, actually matches TF2's. The colors look really good. They fit red and blue team pretty well because oranges and yellows and browns and tans tend to play neutral between red and blue. Orange does lean a bit more towards the warmer colors and more towards red, but it's pretty balanced here, and I think it works just fine. I also love this fade texture. You can get some really neat patterns on additional weapons like the Persian Persuader. You know, it just adds a little bit more variety to a very simple skin, and I appreciate something as subtle as this being put on there. And also the Scorch Shot can have some neat things too, you know, like the whole fade pattern across there. It's just a neat little addition that I quite enjoy, so it's nice to see. My only problem with this war paint is that random orientations and random scaling can give you some pretty mediocre patterns. It certainly gives off like a nice, really swanky 70s vibe, you know, like a you know, just really chill with the neat wavy stripes and what have you. And for example, the minigun is one that portrays this quite well, right? You get a decency like this one, that looks pretty good. Again, that nice 70s swanky vibe. But then you get another pattern like this one, where the stripes are a bit more narrow. It kind of loses that to me. Like, this one's kind of just, I need one, there we go. That one's a bit more not nice in my eyes. I don't know. You gotta pick and choose your patterns with this one, but for the most part, I think it's totally fine. It's a little hit and miss, but overall, it's just a nice breath of fresh air compared to what we normally get. Simple, good colors, it's just like a solid B-tier war paint. Solid B-tier. Oppositely, we have Hypergon. Oh, what the fuck was Valve thinking by adding this horrible war paint? It's just solid purple and black with a neon hexagon texture that hurts your eyes to look at because the pattern is so busy. It's the exact same eye-searing color palette as Party Phantoms from last year, but with just no team variant, because fuck it, who cares about, you know, decent colors, right? I'm just looking at the Op Electric Hive from CSGO, but it's somehow worse than that. This pattern and these colors are just really out of place with the game. It's not even like stock clip art or stock photo, but Jesus Christ, does the final result really look about on par with that? Trader mains naturally love this one because of the green and the purple and the colors and the solid black. They love those edgy dark colors and what have you. And of course, in unusual form with Isotope, it's gonna match their hideously busy, ugly color, triple vomit, triple unusual combos. It's you gotta have that. You gotta match that in there, right? The acceptance of this war paint is a very fine example of throwing shit at the wall until something sticks. The creator of this war paint has made a metric fuck ton of other war paints, most of them pretty bad, largely consisting of bland repeating patterns or clip art on textureless solid colors. It just reeks of pumping out minimal effort submissions until Valve accidentally picks one, and accidentally pick one they did. And for some reason, they chose this one instead of any of his other submissions that are somewhat more appropriate for the game, at least in terms of color scheme. Why? Fucking why? It's honestly one of the worst war paints we've ever received. It's just 1 out of 10, a solid F tier. I hate it. I really don't like this. It's something that I myself could recreate in 2 minutes inside of Photoshop. It sucks. I honestly don't get it. I really don't get it. I swear to God, Valve uses some algorithm or AI to pick items. There's no human element behind this anymore. I'm fully convinced that it's random selection at this point, or an AI, or some kind of machine that does this. It just doesn't make sense to me otherwise. Unless the guy at Valve who's picking these items just goes by his personal preference and has really shit taste. And as if though it couldn't get any worse, Valve dropped the ball really, really hard on Health and Hell. Hell and Health, Health and Hell. God. Okay, just for some context, so you can bring you up to speed with what happened with this war paint. Holy Christ. The original workshop submission, alright, only had this blue texture as the submission. And the creator also uploaded this green texture as a potential alternative variant, or like a red variant. I'm not, he just put it on the workshop page, like, okay, I also made this. I'm chucking it in there as like a potential alternative version. Maybe for red, I don't know. Green is obviously not a good color for red. We'll get back to that in a second. Valve, in their infinite fucking wisdom, not the creator, took this blue version and then made their own red version. But rather than, you know, taking the time to tweak the colors and making it look somewhat passable, they just chucked it into Photoshop and did a simple hue swap that takes 3 seconds. And the results just look really, really bad. It's like tomato soup. It's horrible. Valve did this, alright? This is what they deem as acceptable. That's a spit in the face. That's a spit in the face to us and to the guy who made the texture for this. My God. And then, for whatever reason, I don't know what they were thinking. It's like, oh yeah, fuck it, they have a green version in this too. Let's just put it in there as their own separate war paint. Oh God. Okay. Why? Seriously, why? First of all, just from an aesthetic standpoint, this green is hideously saturated. It's like I'm looking at a dev texture of some kind. I can color key this out and put something there. It simply does not belong in the game on color standards alone. This should have never been added, and certainly not this tomato soup red variant either. What were they thinking? What were they doing? What were they smoking over there? Seriously, what the hell? Generally speaking, right, green is not a good color for red team, right? Red team generally plays off of warmer colors. Blue team generally plays off of cooler colors. Green is a cooler color and is the polar opposite of red on the color wheel. Yes, there are exceptions. Sometimes red can look good with green, and vice versa, blue can look good with red or whatever. I know there are exceptions, but it's basic color theory that red and green clash. Hence, it looks like shit on red team for the most part. Also, it's still hideously oversaturated. Next thing about this is that the artwork is flat out amateur. It's amateurish. It's incredibly rough, and the creator attempted to make something that resembles a Fong mask, but it's just hideously fucked up, and this war paint in general just needed a lot more work. It's not good, alright? And I can't blame the creator too much, okay? This was his first war paint submission, and it's incredibly rough as a result. His inexperience led to this hideously saturated green version, a pretty bad texture overall, and a pretty big, nasty seam cutting through the entire thing. Valve should have recognized that. Valve should have recognized that this war paint is amateur work, a passable attempt at the minimum, but totally not appropriate for the game in its current state. Plain and simple. But, of course, naturally in their infinite wisdom, or the AI that just throws darts at the board and managed to land one on this war paint, they pick it. The entire war paint, from texture to Fong masks to color palette, just needed more time in the oven. It needed a lot more polish, man. The only thing going for this war paint is just the blue version, only because the colors are somewhat decent. Beyond that, this entire war paint is just a solid F tier. It's not good. What the fuck happened here? The creator tried to make something good, but he needs more experience, right? And again, Valve should have recognized that. Plain and simple. Even the Warpaint creator admitted that his Warpaint is half-baked. That takes some balls to say that your own work needs adjustment or needs fixing or is bad. I applaud you for that, sir. I have the utmost respect for people that will acknowledge the flaws in whatever they do. Seriously, that's how you grow. That's how you get better. You acknowledge your fuck-ups, you acknowledge your failures, and improve upon them. Instead of, you know, whining, oh, why don't people like this? No, you just get better. I also hear the guy who made this has been in contact with a few people and even made an updated version of this war paint that he has since resubmitted as a fix to the one that Valve accepted, but naturally Valve will not accept his fixed textured version of this war paint. I'll put it on screen. It looks really good now that he's made some adjustments. It's way more acceptable now, but naturally Valve is not going to accept these changes because they've already fucked up by adding this one, and they will put the argument, oh, people may already like the one that's been added, therefore we will not change it, when I don't think I've found a single person who likes this war paint in its current state. It's just really, really bad. The creator fixed his shit, and I applaud you for that, man. That's, like, seriously, thank you. Good shit. And instead of just buckling down and doubling down, oh, if people don't like my work, you're being so mean, you actually listened to feedback and made something better. Good fucking work. Next up is Sunriser. This one's not bad. This is one of the good ones we got in this case. The colors fit in the game quite nicely. The primary texture is orientation locked, so you get like that nice effect of like heat waves coming off of the corona around the sun. It's quite nice. The only problem that I have with this war paint is this one suffers from much worse scaling issues compared to Cream Corn. Some patterns, like the Scorched Shot exemplifies this quite well, some patterns look pretty okay, but then others, like, oh shit, I need to go back to that one. Hold on, give me another big beefy one, dude. Some patterns, like this one that gets scaled up really high, just look really bad. And others are scaled down so small that it looks way too busy. You have to find like that nice middle ground, like that one. That's a good scaling pattern, right? These inconsistencies end up for a lot of shitty seeds, and it looks bad on certain weapon models. That's my only major beef with it, right? And when you have this weird kind of inconsistency with the busyness of it, paired with like the gold wispies, I guess I can call them, on the secondary texture, it can look a little sour on certain weapon models. But for the most part, this war paint is actually very, very nice. The colors are good. The overall patterns are perfectly fine. It's honestly one of the better war paints that have been added to the game in quite some time. And despite, again, its simplicity, these wispy things are something you can draw in Illustrator in a few minutes. But it's not bad. It's good. I approve of this one. It's pretty decent. Although I would have liked to have seen, instead of silver, perhaps like a yellow or like a different warm color that's a little more appropriate for blue team, like a lighter yellow or like a lighter gold, to kind of keep it in line with like the sun theme instead of like Moonriser. Still looks good though. The color's fine. I just think yellow would have been a little bit more appropriate. It's a minor nitpick. Overall, it's good. This is a good war paint, like a solid C tier. Middle of the road. It's good. It's just, you know, okay, but not bad. It's pretty good. Chilly Autumn. Stickers embedded within an otherwise okay checkerboard pattern. It's like a tablecloth that you'd put down on the grass for like a fall picnic. It's not Googled clip art as far as I can see. Then again, jack-o'-lanterns and leaves are painfully easy to draw anyways. It gives off that nice, cozy autumn sensation, you know, wanting to crack open the window and maybe 17 beers, letting in some cooler air and looking out at the changing colors as you drink the paint away. There's really nothing offensive about this war paint, except there's no blue version. So, blue team is just gonna be carrying around these big red guns when in combination with other cosmetics. It's gonna make it really difficult to tell what team they're on. Here's an example. Let's play a quick game, alright? What team is this? How about this one? You can't tell? Flip a coin. There's your answer. If an item fucks with team recognition at any angle, that's a major issue. That's the most basic of no-nos to avoid when making items for TF2. If an item violates the basic visual principles that the game relies upon, you fucked up. Scrap it, fix the issue, and move on. Overall, Warpaint is pretty boring. It's an inoffensive pattern, it's decent colors, but the lack of a blue team variant really just plummets this one into like a solid D tier. It really needs a blue team variant. If it had that, it would receive much higher praise from me. Simple as that. Pumpkin Plastered! Here it is! Striped leggings that you'd find at Hot Topic next to Blink 182 on vinyl and a Jack Skellington Funko Pop. It's just stripes. It's just stripes and pumpkin stickers. Yeah, yay, orange and purple. Nice. I mean, hey, we had to have at least one tacky Halloween-themed war paint, right? So, here you go. Ugh. Painfully mediocre and lazy. It's just yet another example of a stripe and sticker war paint that uses bright colors to make up for an overall boring composition. Solid D tier, maybe an F. I really don't think people are going to be using this one much outside of the Halloween season or outside of furry circles, because we all know how they like their purple and orange and other very bright colors. Don't know why every, like, character mascot they have to design needs to be coated in neon colors. Just has to be a thing. Dude, okay, I'll make... why can't I make, like, a furry character that's, like, a ghost shrimp and just have him be, like, brown? Why? Just pick, like, a normal color. Why does, like, your fox, shark, snake, falcon hybrid need to have, like, neon blue eyes and pink feet and orange and green wings and, like, a shirt that's purple? Why? Something better could have been added than this one, plain and simple. It just goes to show how far a little wave warp goes in making stripes looking that much more appealing on a war paint. So thank you again to the guy who made Cream Corn for taking the extra couple of minutes to apply that wave warp to your stripes. Oh, God, what happened here with Metalized Soul? Man, I can say it's a cool concept, but the execution is horrific, to say the least. These textures look like they're from another game entirely, and are just really, really rough, man. Like first draft level of rough. We have one incredibly busy texture, juxtaposed against another slightly less busy texture. There's a better seed that exemplifies that. And the result is just this clusterfuck of shapes and colors and lines that create a visually incoherent mess. Oh, God. The blue variant's colors at least look decent, but the red version is just really, really bad. Yellow and purple contrast in just the worst way possible, and it just makes no sense for a red skin. If it was red instead of purple, then yeah, that would have been fine. But no, yeah, yellow and purple. I think they could have simplified the secondary texture a lot in order to balance out the ultra busy primary texture. They could have adjusted and polished their line work so it looks a bit more stylized for the game. It's just really ugly. It's really ugly, really busy, just a D tier, right? Some, like, effort went into this, but it needed a lot more work, plain and simple. It's not the worst war paint we received. It's not among the worst we've received, but it's pretty bad. It's, oh, God. It's like, the pain doesn't stop. The pain doesn't stop with this case. It's just one after another of just pure fucking pain. What? How do I start? Bonzo Gnawed. How do I start with this one? Concept is cool, I guess. Yeah, let's adopt an unusual effect where a war paint. Fine. The execution is just really, it's just flat out ugly. It's just so bad. I mean, it's ugly just like the effect it's based on, so they got that just fine, I guess. The colors make sense, sure, for Bonzo the All-Gnawing, one of the ugliest effects in the game. Therefore, the texture work, as a result, is also just painfully ugly. It's not terrible, I guess, but man, the teeth and the eyes and these patterns just make for another just hot mess of colors and shapes. It looks like vomit. It just looks like vomit. It's really bad. It at least reflects the unusual effect in that regard. Again, nice vomiting mouth. I mean, hey, that's what they were going for, right? This war paint just looks extremely out of place in the game. It doesn't match anything unless it happens to have a Bonzo the All-Gnawing effect somewhere on the loadout, right? You know what this is like? You know what this is like? I just realized this. This is not in my script, but I just realized this. This is just like fucking Tumor Toasted. It's just like this war paint, right? Look at this thing. Look at this thing, right? Suffers from the exact same problem. It's hideously ugly, it looks really out of place, and it will only match the funny bread cosmetics that have been put in the game, that have been shoehorned into the game over the past few years. Because, oh, funny, wacky bread, guys, get it? It's the expiration date, funny meme, bread crabs, bread shoes, bread mouth, bread hat, bread hoodie, yeah, bread, give me more fucking bread, yeah, give me cancer. Valve just added, like, a trader main's wet dream with this war paint. Now, these traders have a nice overpriced puking purple anus effect skin to match with their puking purple anus effects. No one else is going to use this otherwise. And its creation makes sense. Its creation makes sense. You want to know why? Because a pretty big trader contributed towards this one. This guy is a co-owner of one of the biggest trading bot services available. You know, the things that kill trading. He also contributed towards other war paints designed to specifically match certain unusual effects that would also look out of place without them. Insanely expensive Halloween unusual effects that have been pumped up in price by a small handful of traders manipulating that corner of the market. War paints designed to specifically match those effects, monetary incentive for these items to be expensive and for these items to exist and match them. Totally no ulterior motives with these war paints at all. Are you fucking kidding me? Honestly, ugly, plain and simple, F tier. This is one of the worst war paints we've ever received. It's fucking terrible. Okay, and now we can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. Just a little one, because in contrast to Bonzo Gnawed, we received one of the coolest war paints ever from TF2. God, I can't fucking talk. This war paint is pretty fucking cool. Ghoul Blaster is honestly phenomenal. It's a Ghostbusters themed war paint. Someone took a pop culture reference, but properly stylized it for TF2, and man, looks good. It has this custom wear, where at higher wears, you reveal more of this green ectoplasm goo, which is pretty cool. It's a very nice detail, a very nice aesthetically pleasing detail, that Valve usually avoids. Out of all of the war paints we've received since 2017, including this case, only 5, maybe 6 war paints have something that resembles a custom wear. This war paint's custom wear is pretty freaking sweet, but I only got one problem with it. That's pretty intense. That's really green. Like, whoa. Like, well-worn and above is pretty cool, but when you get to Battle Scarred, man, that's a lot. Oh, it's a lot of green. Holy God. Whoa. I think it's just way too much for me, beyond, like, lower than well-worn. Battle Scarred's a lot. I kind of liked it more during the first few days of the update when Valve accidentally fucked up the wear implementation and made this these hazard stripes use the wear for Banana Peel. I have a clip of that somewhere. I'll put it on screen. I think that looked a little bit better because that balanced out some of the really vibrant, oversaturated neon green from the wear. It was a nice balance, but it lacks balance. This war paint lacks some balance at the higher wears. You just get way too much green, right? Thankfully, the base textures are muted enough to where if you get a higher wear, you get enough balance in that regard. So it's not terrible. It's actually still a really nice war paint. I think it's really cool. Overall, wrapping up the argument on this one, overall, it's fucking awesome. I mean, it's like a high B tier. It's a cool war paint, and I was really curious if custom wares were going to end up being more expensive than factory new. Doesn't seem like that's going to be the case now that the update's been out for like 2 weeks now, almost? Jesus. But hey, that means higher wares that are cheaper for me to buy. Fuck yeah, dude. Look at this Metagun. Any Ghostbusters fan knows that that's like low-hanging fruit right there. That's the lowest hanging fruit you can get for a Ghostbusters fan that plays TF2. And I love those movies, dude. So I'm picking up one of these for myself at some point. It's fucking cool. And finally, the last war paint, Sacred Slayer. Finally, an elite grade war paint that, at least in my eyes, is worthy of having the elite grade title. Not simply because it's hyper neon color vomit, but because it actually looks really damn good. In factory new, insanely clean, super sleek, but hey, at higher wears, guess what we got? We got a custom wear on this one too, and it doesn't look bad. I kind of like it. The copper metal, or is it like demon skin or something? I don't know. It wears to like this oxidized copper, or is it blue blood? I honestly don't know. It's pretty damn cool. And also this secondary texture here is actually quite nice. I was a little worried that scaling might fuck this one up, but the scaling seems locked on this war paint, and the lines are just thick enough to where it doesn't really get lost. It looks really good. Balances out these flat but still very sleek textures. It's nice. Sticker looks a bit off for me. I don't know if I quite like how this one was detailed, but it's not bad. It's like a minor nitpick on this one. It still looks really good. Easily the best elite grade we've had in the game, unless you happen to like neon color vomit, unless you happen to like war paints that are just ugly stock images or default Photoshop gradients and star brush tools. God. If you happen to like that, then yeah, that's your flavor for elite grades. But in terms of just objective quality and things that are stylized for the game, Best elite grade we've ever received. It's just hands down really, really, really good. Solid A tier. Not like enjoyer tier, but like solid A tier. It's really nice. I need to get me one of these at some point. It's really good. And hey, that's it. You know, that's it for the war paints. And it seems like, for the most part, Valve avoided tacky holiday war paints. Thank God, much to my delight. Unfortunately, most of this case is pretty shit. That's the only problem. Only 4 out of the 10 war paints are decent to pretty good. The rest are either half-baked or just flat-out hideously ugly. Despite the good war paints being really good, I still consider this case to be like the 2nd or 3rd worst war paint case we've ever received. Not nearly as bad as like the Winter 2020 case. That one will always remain as the worst case we've ever received. It only had like, God, 1, maybe 2 decent war paints out of all of them. The rest of which were just ugly festive patterns and, again, stock images, stock Photoshop gradients and brushes, or the fucking Vor pride flag. My God, that was fucking intentional. That was intentional, and they knew what the fuck they were doing, too. This case is a significant improvement over that steaming pile, mainly because the worst skins in this case aren't nearly as bad as the worst skins in that case. That's the only reason why this case isn't nearly as bad as Winter 2020. Ekes out just a little bit beyond Winter 2019, because that case was also... actually, no, that was also pretty shit. So yeah, this is the 3rd worst case we've received out of all of them. So, okay, overall, that's it. That's it for war paints. That's enough. Let's move on to the maps. So the maps, they're by and large pretty disappointing to me as well. Not for the fact that the maps are bad, but for the fact that Valve refuses to add maps that aren't holiday themed. The only non-holiday themed maps we've received over, like, the past, 5 years, are Pier and Bread Space. Pier is at least decent. It's like, I guess they opted to pick that one because it's like, oh, it's New Year's, right? Fireworks, and it happens at night. So it's like, okay, fine, winter-themed, loosely, whatever. But then you have Bread Space, which plays like you're dragging your nutsack over broken glass. Horrible map. Beyond just these 2 maps, just those 2, the other, 20 maps that have been added over the past 5 years? More than that, I know, I just didn't bother counting. Have been nothing but Halloween, or God for fucking bid, Christmas-themed maps, and are only available during their respective holiday events. We don't need Christmas-themed maps, Valve. Please stop adding them. They're terrible. Or at least stop picking Christmas-themed maps that are just reskins of Halloween maps, that are reskins of mediocre community maps. We have layers here of reskin upon reskin upon reskin. Because Valve will not pick a map unless it's holiday-themed. So mappers on the workshop take their normal vanilla maps and they have to make them holiday themed, otherwise Valve's not gonna fucking pick them. Fuck! You don't play test the maps anyway, Valve, so why not throw some vanilla shit in there that can be available year-round? Oh, sorry, my bad, I totally forgot. That's too much of a liability, because that would mean that Valve needs to be on call to fix bugs and exploits outside of the holiday season, instead of just 1 week after the update's been implemented. Nah, that's right, of course. That's why they're not adding any new fucking maps that aren't holiday-themed. Fuck! Because guess what? That means more work for them, and they don't want to do beyond the bare minimum. Why do people keep praising this company? Ah, now I'm getting pissed. Now I'm getting mad. If I wasn't mad before, I'm pissed off now. People keep filleting Valve. I don't get it. They're terrible. They're a terrible game company. They used to be good. They used to be great. Not anymore. They've fallen into the same camp as all the other game devs in this modern hellhole of game development space. Same shitty business practices. Same idea of milking a game for all it's worth and putting in the bare minimum level of work to make it functional, and then letting it die and inevitably moving on to the next thing. Brain interfaces or handheld Linux machines, man. Why do people, feel like they need to defend this company? Oh, they tweeted, guys! Oh, wow, they put one guy! Valve's helping us again! Yay, they're doing so good! Fuck! They do jack shit! They do nothing! They don't test maps! They even fucked up a hat! They fucked up a hat! They forgot to put a hat in the case! It had just a missing texture, it was an error sign, dude! How do you fuck that up? God! Getting pissed, gotta cool it down, getting mad, just shut that shit down! Anyway, I'm calm, I'm zen, we're good. This year's maps. Soul Mill, it's a mediocre Halloween reskin. We had to get at least one, right? Hell Train, it's actually really fun. It's like a really good, gimmicky capture the flag map. I really like this one. I had played it on stream with some friends before, and It plays well. It's like actually like one of the most fun capture the flag maps. I really enjoyed this one. Bonesaw, particle hell, and it just lags the shit out of my game. And also Death Run because fuck it, why not? It's passable, but not that great. Crasher, however, is like the best map they've added in a really, really long time. It's insanely fun, and I can't get enough. Someone better make a 24/7 server with just this map. If not, I will, because we're not going to get to play it outside of Scream Fortress. If no one does a 24/7 server with just Crasher, I'll make it happen, because that is just way too fun to not have in the normal rotation. Ghoul Pit sucks, unfun. Spooky Ridge also sucks, painfully mediocre, but slightly less unfun. It has hellish sniper sight lines that just make the last point awful for attack and defend. It's not a fun map. It sucks. That's it for maps. Moving on to taunts. I guess every class has to have a vehicle taunt now, right? Yeah, everyone's got to have some kind of funny thing with wheels. These are trash. They fucking suck.
Pretty good.
Unusual effects. Yeah, unusuals, dude. More. Just give us more. I need more fucking particles, dude. More. Just give me more fucking particles. Valve, I need more. I need more fucking particles, Valve. I stopped caring about unusual effects a long time ago. They've added so many that I honestly just can't keep up with how many they've put in over the past few years. Most of them look like shit, and you rarely see them in game compared to a lot of the older effects, which at least tells me that most players, aside from traders, are far more interested in these older unusual effects because they just tend to look better and aren't just neon color bombs with the same mostly fairly inoffensive color palette swaps, but it's just nothing new. It doesn't, you will never ever get back to like that OG feel of the old unusual effects. We're never going to get that again. It's nothing but neon and yeah, flashy colors and energy and wispy waves and fucking community sparkles, guys. Yeah. And also mods and shitty monoculous effect that no one is going to use. So really nothing fascinating with these unusual effects this year, except maybe the Horseman Axe. That one's kind of cool. It's different, right? It's something different, so it's nice to see. But for the most part, the unusual effects are just mediocre. It's just more in the end, right? In the end, it's just more particle effects that clog up and lag my game, and I have no way to turn them off. Fucking sucks. And now the hats. Ugh. This one's clever, but it's just barely noticeable. I don't think anyone's going to be using this one that much. Another shitty femboy witch hat, number 87. We have, what, 5 of these now? Great. Goody, another No Mercy knockoff. Why another one? Why is it elite grade? And no one's gonna use this. It looks like shit. Oh, this one is honestly just trash. We already have the Flamehawk, which looks infinitely better. This is just the igniter from Pyro's flamethrower, copied and pasted 8 times into a Mohawk. It's just trash. Another garbage elite grade no one's gonna want to use. This one is a visual clusterfuck, and we already have a better version of this one in the game. So, no. Bad. Halloween restricted. This one just should be Halloween restricted. It's just the demo man. It's just the Robo Demo's head put on Demo Man with some texture changes. Good. One of 3 items from a pretty decent item set, but it's just gonna look out of place because Valve only added this one and not the others, and that kind of sucks. But just the big skull, devil's skull on the front is kind of goofy. It's not terrible. This one's decent, but this is also the one that Valve fucked up on day 1 and they just forgot a version, and so it was just an error sign in your backpack, so great. I really like this one. It's another, I mean, yeah, it's another medic coat. Medic's got like 50 coats, but at least it looks good. I will definitely be using this one to make like a neat, like, Mad Doctor loadout. It fits. It looks good. Thank you. At least it's not terrible. Same for this. Another hair piece for medic. We already have a couple that look like this, but it's something a little bit different. You got like the white stripe, Dr. Frankenstein kind of look. It's just decent. It's not amazing by any means, but it's just okay. We already have this hat. Except now it's got like a shawl and a skull. But we already have this hat. Great. Another spy coat. It's not bad. It's good. It's pretty clean. It has weird clipping issues, and like it had like a weird equip region thing. I don't know if it's still in there right now. I didn't bother to check. It has weird clashes with certain items, but overall it's not bad. It's pretty decent. This is just a t-shirt. It's a Fortnite t-shirt. Like you could put it honestly just looks like a Fortnite character's cosmetic. It's why. And another shitty skull mask that no one is gonna use. Immediate trade-up fodder. It's just really mediocre, and it's just no one will use this. No one will use this. This one is just really hideous. It's really fucking ugly, and we already have a hood for the heavy. There's a version of this that removes the mask, but we already have a hood for heavy that looks better than this. Just another mediocre garbage cosmetic. It's just really bad. And I guess every class is gonna get a Shaco now. Medic's got a Shaco. Scout has a Shaco. Sniper has a Shaco. Soldier has a Shaco. Demo Man has a Shaco now. Am I forgetting anyone? So who do we still need? We need Pyro. We need Spy. We need Engineer. We need Heavy. Everyone else has a Shaco now. Why? Come Christmas time, you are going to see a Shaco for every fucking class, or multi-class and all-class Shacos. Watch.
早上好，中国！现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋。
We also already have this hat, and it looks better than this one. I understand they were going for like a Mad Max thing here, but it's just really ugly, and no one is gonna use it. Okay, this one is just a Fortnite cosmetic. This is just we already have this hat. We already have this cosmetic. Nice furry bait for you bear fans out there. We already have this cosmetic, but it's just this. God, it's just this is just peak. Put object on mercenary's head and call it a hat, right? Yes, it's Halloween restricted, but we already have this. We have the Beep Man. This is just painfully soulless. It sucks. It's they could have. I'm done, dude. I really am. It's like a scaly bait and fucking. At least these are funny. These are goofy. Thank God they're Halloween restricted, but at least it's something. I guess everyone gets a Mr. Mundy's Wild Ride now. We're gonna see one for every other class now. Come Christmas or Halloween next year. Get ready, it's coming. Two more got accepted. So Heavy's gonna get one. Medic's gonna get one. And fucking Spy's gonna get one. Scout's gonna get one. Everyone's gonna get one now. Fuck me, it's coming, get ready, watch. And because I'm mentally deficient, I decided to open 40 boxes. Best thing I got, $3. Overall, I will say, Valve at least kept the tacky holiday trash to a minimum. Nothing offensive in this cosmetic case at all. But most of the selections are painfully mediocre. Again, I swear to God, an AI selects these items and not another human being, right? It's just another perfect example of Valve doing the bare minimum, rushing the update, just picking shit as quickly as possible, chucking it into boxes, rapidly picking some maps without testing them, without checking for issues, and just dumping it all into the game. In conclusion, the items we receive from this update, from this Scream Fortress, are just a serious letdown in comparison to like the summer box we just got. The maps are either passable or pretty good. That's at least a good thing, right? The maps are at least fun. I don't give a shit about hats. I don't give a shit about skins. The maps are good, and if they play well, that means the game is fun, and that's what matters, right? Those maps, however, are hardly enough of a distraction from the more glaring issues the game continues to face, and that Valve will just not bother with, it seems. And I mean, that's it. That's really it. I really don't know what else to say. I've been recording for like almost an hour now. So I'm gonna go make my dreams come true by making giant fem pyro on Crasher, and then I'm gonna slam my nutsack into a car door. This is in post, and I'm eating lunch as this thought came to my head that I forgot to mention when I was talking about the war paints, right? And the maps too, and the hats. It's like, it irks me, man. It irks me that Valve is just this is just in general about the update. They're just like, lazy isn't the right word. They're just rushed, right? They're fully capable of giving us a decent update, but the quality of their selections, the reason behind their selections, makes no sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it. That's why I said they have to use like an AI or something that just randomly picks things from whatever the first few pages on the workshop are. Obviously, likes and dislikes don't matter on the workshop. Comments don't matter on the workshop. The voting system and the community having some form of regulation of what is deemed acceptable or not doesn't make any fucking difference, right? So whenever you see a creator saying, "Oh, thank you for voting on my item," it didn't fucking mean anything. Your votes didn't mean shit. Your comments don't mean anything, because Valve is just going to pick that and then also some other crap that people hated. There is no rhythm. There's no reason. There's no, again, no rhyme or reason as to why they pick what they do. And it's immensely frustrating because we have horrific quality inconsistencies as a result. We have some items that are amazing and then some that are just amateur, mediocre, don't look good in the game, half-assed. It's like, it's really frustrating, and sucks. It just sucks. Valve sucks. Plain and simple, Valve sucks. And as a result, it just feeds back into the workshop, man. They now know that they can just keep getting away by making bare minimum crap, throwing more shit at the wall until something sticks and Valve accidentally picks something. Just, it's the vicious cycle continues, man. It just keeps going, I need another bite of my chili here. Good shit. Something else too that came to mind as I was enjoying my meal here. Yeah, I get it. It's Scream Fortress. I know maps are supposed to have gimmicks, and I know maps are supposed to have wacky spells and pumpkin bombs. I love Scream Fortress. It's always fun. I love the maps. I love the gimmicks. It's always an enjoyable experience, right? I love it, right? I love birthday cake. I love it. Give me a slice, I'm gonna eat it right up. 2 slices, I love you to death. 3, get a little sick of it. 4 slices, stomach's starting to hurt. 5 slices, I'm gonna throw up in your face. That's my point. We've only been receiving Halloween updates, Halloween stuff, or Christmas stuff, right? That's my gripe with Valve. Add more vanilla maps. But they're not going to because, like I just mentioned, that's going to require them to do beyond the bare minimum level of maintenance, and that they don't want to fuck with it outside of the holiday season. Because if an issue pops up with a map, they're not going to bother. They don't want to bother. They only want to have to bother within the first couple of weeks of an update, and then it's it. Just fuck. Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product. Don't dare critique what Valve is doing. Don't dare question the methods. Don't dare question the status quo. How dare we request things that are better? How dare I be upset with Valve? I should be falling at their knees and praising them for even acknowledging that the game is still around, man. We just got, thank you, Valve, for a nice buggy update once again. Cheers to that, bro. So fucking tired of it, man. I really am. I don't get how people still defend this company. I really don't. It's fucking ridiculous what they're doing. Like, it's like, am I crazy? Am I nuts? I feel like I'm the only guy, except like 1 or 2 other people in like the content creation sphere that is like cognizant of what's going on with this game, right? It's like people take like the smallest grain of acknowledgement. They take like the smallest piece of content and they're like, okay, hey, we love you again, Valve. It's fucking good. No, by the way, I can't play casual right now because my game is full of bots again. And yes, bots are still there. Just because you happen to be in a region or a time where you're not seeing bots doesn't mean other people aren't fucking dealing with them. Try playing in Australia or in Eurasia right now. You're not going to be able to. I don't know. Less of an issue. Not so much a priority. Funny hats. Funny snakes on snake water. Funny bear head. Funny other funny shit. Fun. Just good stuff. More fun shit. Hey, nice keys. Dangling those fucking keys, guys. Gotta love it. Gotta fucking love it. It's fucking hilarious too, right? Like, people get mad at me for being upset, right? With just like with the state of the game. It's like, why can't you just be happy? Just be happy. Just look at the funny hats, look at the skins, and look at the net. Just be happy we're getting the Scream Fortresses and the Smithsmisses. Just stop whining all the time. It's like, I have every right to be fucking upset with the state of the game right now, man. It's like, they're still asking us for our money. People are still giving them money. They're making millions off fucking TF2, man. They're not doing anything. They're you gotta tweet, guys. Gotta praise them now. It's just, it's this endless circle jerk of hypocrisy that I'm in the middle of, being I feel like the only cognizant goddamn creator in this TF2 sphere, and people are just, taking the blue pill, and I'm the red-pilled base man. Coming up for you, I'm respecting. I'm following up for you right now. I got your back, right? It's like, I honestly feel that way. Like, I feel like unless you're within this constant, endless circle jerk of happiness and like, oh, everything's fine, everything's okay, just be happy. We know that the game's never gonna go back to how it was. Like, we know that, but just look, funny hats, funny skins. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? It really does suck, because I love this game. I fucking love TF2. And it's like, I'm pissed that this is the treatment we're getting. It's exhausting. It really is. It's like, God, it's no! This is why like a lot of people, I assume, and myself included, get like really burnt out on like trying to make content for TF2, right? It's like as soon as like someone starts criticizing what's going on or like being negative with the state of the game, can't have that. But we can have our Hugbox hashtag trend on Twitter. We can sure as hell say how much we love the game instead of saying, "Hey Valve, fix your shit." You know? Oh, we just had to make sure that it wasn't going to get violent or abusive. So we had to make it lovey-dovey. We had to say how much we love our game. We had to say how much it is so good. Valve, please give us some crumbs, please. Honestly, the stupidest fucking way to handle it. I just don't get it. Like, don't be an ass about it, but like, just like, air out Valve's dirty laundry. Shove it in their faces. Like, hey, guys, can't play a fucking game. Instead of like milking a tweet out of them. It's like, yeah, we know you love our game. It's such a slap in the face too. It's like, yeah, we know you love our game. We're working on it. And then they put one guy to work on the game. I just like, God, it just pisses me off. It really does. Or just be happy instead. Just get over it. I'm not gonna fucking get over it. I'm pissed off. I'm allowed to be pissed off at this fucking company. You should be too. Eating my fucking chili. Talking about a 15-year-old video game. Being pissed off at it. What is my life? This is what I do with my Sundays. These are my weekends now. I need a drink. And it's only like 12:40. Fuck. Here I am again. Post, as I've now finished editing this monster of a video. It's gonna be like an hour long, and I hope that tides you guys over, because this next thing that I have planned it's gonna take me a long time. Not for the fact that it's gonna take a long time to record, in that like I need gameplay footage or anything like that. It's just that it's a far more delicate topic that is gonna need a lot more thought put into the writing, right? I need to make sure that my own biases and all the facts are all like laid out as clean as they can be, and I don't want to fuck that up. And so it's going to take, and it's also just a long-winded thing to discuss, so I need to like really make sure my shit's in order before I even start recording my voice lines and then editing something together, right? It's my first adventure into something very different. It's not another weapon review video, because I really can't stomach those anymore, truly. Like, the last one I did was on the Dragon's Fury, and I really just can't do those anymore, because they've all been done. Like, I cannot provide something new for you guys to chew on without repeating something you've likely already heard a million times, right? Because like you had wave 1 of YouTubers making all the stuff about the game, and then you had like wave 2/3, which is what I was in. Like I was like wave 2/3 of the TF2ber scene. And they just repeated everything, more or less, and covered like the balancing changes post Jungle Inferno, right? And now we're in like wave 3, entering wave 4, which is weird to think about, like third, fourth generation. Probably not the right word to use. Third, fourth generation of TF2 YouTubers that are just making more videos about the same stuff again and again and again, right? And the ones that opt to deviate from that enter wacky, gimmicky, stupid, forced meme territory, or try to be as funny as possible on their own with clip dumps and just like forced memes and shit. And it's just like, it's boring. Like, I don't want to do that. It's like I post what I myself find entertaining, right? And I don't think I find video weapon reviews entertaining anymore, because like I'm not sure what else I could provide. Like I guess an alternative perspective, but I don't know. I want to tackle something bigger than just talking about a weapon in a video game, and I found something I want to tackle, and so I'm going to do it. It'll just take me time to do it, and I hope you guys are patient enough with me to wait for that. But if you're not patient, self-plug here, I have a second channel. Link in the description if you want extra content that just I don't think is appropriate for the main channel. And I do stream on Twitch every now and again. I don't really have a schedule, but I do just go live at random, usually in the evenings, like 7:30 US Central Time at like random days. So if you want to like watch me on Twitch, then hey, that's fine. TF2 mostly, maybe other shit, I don't know. Hopefully that will tide you over as I work on this next video. I don't know, man. It's just like watching like the 6th or 7th video about the flog being made, or like the 10th video about like subclasses and shit, right? It's like to the point where you have guys who specialize in MVM, like all of 16 people play Man versus Machine now, and it's fucking weird, man. I just can't. It's like it's not fun anymore, right? Because like now you have like this new wave of 3rd and 4th gen YouTubers who are just like so overly stimulating. Like their editing is fucking, and for me it's impossible to watch because it's just sensory fucking overload. Like it's too much, man. Like and it's all soulless, mostly empty content. Effectively Wikipedia page reads that provide no real new insight or anything interesting, which is what I'm sick of doing. And I can't do that anymore. Like, I know for a fact that I cannot provide something new and interesting via videos about weapons anymore, or like game mechanics anymore. So I'm gonna move on to bigger and better pastures. Still about TF2 mostly. Don't worry. That's what this video is at least loosely related to, is TF2. So don't worry. I'm not like gonna make a video about Hot Pockets or something. I don't fucking know. I do want to say thank you. Again, I don't say it enough, to my patrons for supporting me for all this and shit. Like, and just all you guys too that watch my content. It's really fun. I'm happy. I'm glad you guys enjoy it, and it's fun making. I love doing this shit, and everything you see is genuine. Like that's just me. Like I'm actually pissed. Like I'm mad about the game. Then you're seeing what I actually think. This ain't bullshit. It's just all. It's me, dude. It's me. I'm not putting on this epic facade of YouTuber. Oh, today we're gonna be talking about shotgun heavy. Whoa, look at me go. Look at how cool the shotgun is. Like, fucking kill me. Oh, I can't do it. I can't do that shit anymore. It's just not fun. It's like I cannot compete with these youngins who don't have like full-time jobs yet and like full lives, and they just squirt out content about the most mundane crap and people eat it up. I can't serve gruel anymore. I don't want to serve gruel anymore. So we're moving on to bigger things. See how it goes. So thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting me. If you want to support me, there is a Patreon link below. I offer jack shit Discord access, but beyond that, you don't really get anything. So really all you guys who are supporting me are just doing it because you like what you see here, and I really do appreciate that. It really does mean a lot. It helps a lot too. So thank you, really. It means a lot. So I'll see y'all later. And probably not gonna cut this last part at all or edit it. So see ya.